Tesla customers have grown weary of the controversy surrounding the company and its CEO.
Tesla coming off a 27% stock drop in February.
It's a completely different picture from the one that inspired thousands, if not millions, for years.
Thank you. That's a lot, yeah.
To his admirers, Elon Musk had grand ambitions and was elegantly solving some of the planet's biggest problems. A real-life Tony Stark.
For a lot of people, Tesla was not just an investment or car, it was an ideology and it was a movement.
It really felt like we're changing the world.
But in recent months, many have offloaded stock, sold their cars, and started shopping for rival brands, baffled by Musk's public behavior and his choices.
He went from being the somebody that you looked up to as one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time to somebody that was off his rocker.
Here's why many have turned away from the company they once believed so deeply in, and what Tesla or Musk might need to do to win them back.
Man, yeah, Tesla has really fell off. I've even seen stories of people changing the emblems on their Tesla just so that people don't attack their vehicles. Yeah, people have been attacking, throwing things at Teslas, and I've seen some crazy things that people have done to their Tesla, like putting a Honda emblem on it or a Toyota emblem. And I'm not gonna lie to you, looks pretty cool. But it's unfortunate for someone who bought a Tesla and now their vehicle is being attacked and vandalized.
Numbers paint a discouraging picture. Deliveries fell 13% in the first quarter of 2025. Automotive revenue, 20%. Profits plummeted by 71%.
Wow.
Used Tesla values are falling faster than any other brand as a record number of owners are trading in the cars. Shares have fallen by roughly 30% in 2025. Some owners have found their vehicles to be worthless or worse.
I'm upside down in these vehicles. We're getting a fraction of what is paid, and things like FSD that we paid full price for and paid interest on our loan have no value in terms of exchange.
FSD is a driver assistance system. Many owners prepaid for the service, which is being rolled out over time, but it has been subject to delays and criticized for failing to live up to expectations. But FSD is just one of the many problems Tesla faces.
Has anybody even driven, well, I guess you didn't really drive it, but have you guys been in a car with FSD? I have not. I don't know. I need a couple more years for me to feel kind of safe. I still see some stories out there of self-driving vehicles and everything getting accidents. But I know part of it's safe, but I'm still a little wary.
Finance studies and ranks global brands by value based on expected revenues. Tesla reached its highest point in 2023, breaking the top 10. But then it fell in the 2024 report and further down again this year. The survey was done before President Donald Trump took office.
The reason it's dropped is twofold. First of all, the competition is catching up in terms of quality, innovation, pricing.
Oh, yeah.
But on top of that, we've also had the slightly odd behavior of the CEO, which has alienated a lot of customers.
It is apparent to many former fans. Their reasons vary, but they have a lot in common. Problems with service and product quality, frustration with top management, and yes, Musk's rhetoric, social media posts, and work with US President Donald Trump.
Nobody voted for Elon Musk.
Tesla's first quarter results for 2025 were a disaster. A huge number of center left and left to far left leaning consumers will not consider buying Teslas anymore.
A CNBC survey found that half of Americans have a negative view of Tesla and Elon Musk. Only 27% have a positive. Musk's net approval among Democrats is -82 and +56 among Republicans. But EVs are most popular among Democrats.
If you just look at the numbers in places like
That's so funny. Yeah, EVs are more popular for Democrats. So all this stuff that he's doing, trying to make America great again and catering to the kind of conservative views, they drive trucks. You know, Ford F-150, it is still the most bought vehicle in the United States. It's kind of the same thing that happened with Target. They pulled out of the DEI program to kind of cater to more conservatives, and you've seen the profits plummeted. This is kind of the same thing with Elon Musk kind of pushing to more of a conservative views, or of course helping out Donald Trump and the government. And as you can obviously see, I mean, Tesla is hurting right now.
Like Scandinavia and Germany and Britain, people are turning off from Tesla in droves. They do not like his behavior and they do not like his right-wing stance.
I can't walk past the TV without seeing a Tesla on fire. And like, what's going on? Like, this is psycho. Stop being psycho.
Tesla is what made him the world's richest person on paper and has given him a lot of his clout. And we're seeing the chickens come home to roost, in a sense, at Tesla.
I've owned lots of great cars, but the Model S was way ahead of its time. This was not only a great electric car, the best electric car, it was just a great car. And that was the big thing that changed. You know, you didn't have any sacrifices. You had beautiful styling, you had speed, you had quiet, you had the efficiency. Tesla was miles ahead of the competition for years. He was a visionary who bet the farm on EV. And everyone said he was nuts and he wasn't making money. But, you know, he's a swashbuckling entrepreneur.
After all, Musk wasn't just running Tesla. He was launching rockets into space, devising hyperloops and plans to bore tunnels under Los Angeles, doing things no one else could seem to do. He was going to change the world.
The hottest stock in the world right now has got to be Tesla. Shares soaring after earnings.
Over time, Musk became more vocal about the threat of climate change and more critical of fossil fuels and the industry that sells them.
The issues we're facing are very serious. With climate change, it's really important that we take action.
Being able to change the EV industry and being a part of something revolutionary seemed like a no-brainer.
That Musk often promised more than he delivered, that Tesla delayed and changed plans and lost money quarter after quarter, didn't faze fans.
He was consistently pushing very, very high numbers and missing them, but he was accomplishing more than anybody else had at that time.
Jenkins, like some other owners, was also an investor, with at one point over $500,000 in Tesla shares.
Wow.
So was Brianna Jane. She and her husband have owned a total of 8 vehicles, at least one of every model except the Roadster.
We like the products. They're unique, they're different. It seemed like that was a really good.
I still think the Cybertruck is ugly. I don't care what you say. It is horrendous. It looks like a truck from PlayStation, the original PlayStation.
Investment.
So they became shareholders.
It was 100% of our portfolio. And so yeah.
Hold up. 100% of your portfolio is in one stock. That is a huge mistake. Oh my God. Now I got a feeling things were going well and they went ahead and put more and more into it. And I'm sure they made a ton of money from the amount that they put. But man, I know recently they've been hurting. Guys, this is why you got to diversify your portfolio. Diversify, diversify, diversify.
Yes, we put everything we had into Tesla at the time.
Though Tesla's stock was often volatile, it was still a remarkable performer. Shares in its IPO were priced at $17. As of May 1st, they were trading at roughly $284. The all-time high was $488, shortly after Trump won his second term.
Many of the early fans and proponents of Tesla were very focused on its mission, but they missed these operational problems at Tesla that were antithetical to that goal.
But Musk's public behavior shifted over time.
Elon Musk used to speak pretty clearly about environmental science, climate change. In recent years, it's been this slow mission drift for him and for Tesla.
He started attacking people who didn't like something that he was doing, never met a deadline that he promised. You'd listen to the calls and stuff, and it was just like, what is this guy saying?
Some of his statements related to his businesses, and some not, have drawn controversy, defamation lawsuits, and investigations and charges from government agencies such as the Securities and Exchange Commission. This started to take its toll on some once diehard devotees.
Started to see that every other sentence out of Elon's mouth was either a lie or an exaggeration.
Tesla itself has attracted controversy over its technology and product quality. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened multiple investigations of crashes involving Tesla's driver assistance software. Among other
Exactly what I said earlier. I do not trust the autopilot of Tesla. Plus, I just like to drive. I mean, I drive. It's fun to me.
other things, Musk settled fraud charges made by the Securities and Exchange Commission in 2018 over a tweet about a failed plan to take Tesla private. That tweet was one of the first red flags for Jane.
I ran out of my office and I was banging on my husband's door. And I said, hey, I need you to come out for a second. And he's like, what? I go, sell it now.
I saw tweeting going up quite a lot, started having problems with SEC, started being an expert on global politics, and starting getting into a lot of things that were outside of those two big themes, interplanetary species and let's green up the world.
Elon Musk reportedly is at least a step closer to securing his takeover of Twitter. The Wall Street Journal reporting that the deal is worth $44 billion now.
He was dividing his focus even more. It wasn't just SpaceX and Tesla and some other deep tech things. Now there's this, acquisition, a leveraged buyout of Twitter, and he's dumping Tesla shares to do it. How can the center hold here?
Both NHTSA and the SEC declined to comment. Tesla did not respond to a request from CNBC. Despite their doubts, Jane and her husband remain shareholders, but a trip to the company's We Robot event proved decisive.
We decided, okay, we're going to go there. It'll be a neat experience. We'll be able to see things firsthand and, figure out what's going on, because stock had not been performing particularly well.
But she was denied entry at the event.
They said, well, it's one ticket per household, and we gave them to the head of household. And I said, well, who's the head of household? And then they said, look, this came straight from Milan. This is how it is. You've got like 150 men per one female in the crowd. And I told my husband that night afterwards, I said, not just because I'm bitter or whatever, I said, I think the stock's going to go down big time.
Musk had long been involved in politics. He had briefly served as a White House advisor during Donald Trump's first term. But his recent push to get more deeply involved in politics in the United States and abroad has been a final straw for many. Musk donated more than $250 million to various Republican causes leading up to the 2024.
$250 million. $250 million was donated. That is a lot of money. Now, I know Democrats, people on the left, they also donate a lot of money to their causes as well. I get it. However, this is one person donating that much to a cause. That is substantial. And granted, years ago, he was very much at the forefront of the green economy, right? Saving the planet. I haven't heard much about that, in these past couple years.
For election. His role as an advisor to Donald Trump has led to protests around the country. Trump created the Department of Government Efficiency via executive order and put Musk in charge of it.
Some shareholders have a really big problem with it. He didn't appoint someone else to run the shop while he was out doing Doge stuff.
I didn't buy a car.
Wait, what? He didn't appoint a person to take over his companies when he was working in Doge? What?
To magnify a political party. And I feel that's very unfair to people who own Tesla stock, and particularly unfair to people who bought the car and cannot get out of it. Not everybody can sell their cars at a loss.
I just had a friend who brought his car to the shop and it was like spray painted with swastika.
Chris Lee is a YouTuber and has owned 4 Teslas. He has made several videos about his ownership experience, and he interviewed protesters and owners in the wake of the controversy.
I always get comments also, and people email me, hey Chris, I'm about to go on a road trip to Oregon and across this United States. Is it safe to drive my Tesla? I'm scared I'm going to get vandalized. So unfortunately, that's something that we're dealing with right now, and people are really upset with Tesla. But once it passes, I think we'll just all go back to normal.
Musk is gaining approval in some quarters, such as among Republicans, but they're a lot less likely to buy EVs, so it hasn't offset the losses. Winning back customers and investors isn't easy, and it's not just Musk's politics that have driven some buyers to other brands.
I'm supposed to trust Elon Musk in autonomous vehicle when they still can't even get the sensors right on the windshield wipers? I mean, like, it's really bad. The navigation has gotten worse. It's constantly sending me and my wife to the wrong places.
We were promised a service center in our area quite some time ago. It hasn't come. And mobile service is not what it used to be. I had a seatbelt fixed on one of my vehicles only to have my kids get in the car and find out that they fixed a seatbelt that wasn't broken.
Tesla's future is far from secure. There's much more competition, and Tesla has been making some risky bets on autonomous vehicles and robots.
They were once seen as pioneering, and now they're seen as a bit of a laggard in the autonomous vehicle space. People in robotics think, if they do the right thing with all the data and video they're amassing, they have a real shot, but it's just past due and they're ceding ground at this point.
Musk said on the Q1 2025 company earnings call that he planned to reduce his time in the Trump White House.
You're invited to stay as long as you want. At some point, I guess he wants to get back home to his car.
That means spending 2 days a week on his government work. Is that enough to run a public company that's at this inflection point where they're facing competition from China, a decline in the brand's reputation?
But if
By the way, if you guys haven't seen videos of those Chinese vehicles, I mean, I was born in America. I don't have any skin in the game, but BYD, look up the vehicles. They are phenomenal and beautiful. I mean, they're very, very good vehicles, which is why they are the highest selling EV vehicles in the world. Yeah, they definitely have passed Tesla already, mainly because they're selling to the European market. As you saw earlier, the European market no longer wants Teslas. Not to mention, they're also selling in China, which has the world's highest population.
Musk's image is tarnished, returning to Tesla might not help at all.
I think most public companies probably would not have tolerated what he has been doing for the last 6 months, but it isn't a normal company. He is in control. And so really, someone ought to be reasoning with him to say, look, we do actually think you're a distraction.
Elon could turn it around if he chose to. But first of all, it's got to be, do we even have a problem? Do we even care? And is this a path we want to go down?
For me, I would like to see a return to Tesla fundamentals, which was supposed to be about sustainable energy. I think there's a lot of great people at Tesla who have a voice that we should hear more from.
Agreed. Okay, do I think Tesla is going to kind of recover from this? I honestly don't think so, because what Elon Musk has done in the past couple of years is kind of irreversible. And the people who bought Tesla, a lot of them bought them because of their trust in Elon Musk and what he's going to do for the future of not just Tesla, but the world. And with his actions in the past couple years, or at least most recently as well, with Doge and Donald Trump, I really don't think those customers are ever going to come back. I mean, the report here says that most of the people, especially in the moderate to left to far left, are never going to even touch or look at a Tesla ever again. That's a lot of people. Capitalism, I love it. But guys, you have to be able to cater to as many people as possible. And you literally have completely removed majority of your customer base. And the people who do support you, the Republicans, the more moderate to right wing, they are very loyal to their own cars right now. I mean, I keep saying it, but the Ford F-150 is the highest selling truck every single year. Not just highest selling truck, highest selling vehicle every single year. So they're not going to deviate from that, guys. I mean, I really don't know what Tesla is going to do. In my opinion, what should happen is I really think Elon should just sell Tesla and become a minority owner in the company and just let the smart people and the other people who love Tesla and believe in Tesla to just continue with it and grow Tesla to what it can be. Because you guys gotta remember, Tesla is 100% made in the United States. with the tariffs that could or could not happen with Trump, I mean, Tesla is in a good position in that sense. However, you can be made in the United States all you want, but if nobody wants to buy it, nobody wants to buy it. And that brand, that disloyalty that just happens is very tough to come back to. So how do you guys feel about Tesla? Would you guys ever buy one? Do you guys have one? Are you guys experiencing your cars being vandalized and on fire? Like, let me know in the comments. Until next time, thank you for watching. I'm Debt Free Steve.